Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Mouse Club podcast. My name is Marissa, and I will be your host for this podcast. So thank you so much for joining. I finally am here recording. It took me a super long time to figure out where to record, how to record, what mic to use, all this other stuff. So I think I found a new balance, or a good balance for now. I'm definitely new to this whole thing, so if it doesn't come out super great, I'm definitely gonna work my way up to some better equipment and things like that. So thank you so much for clicking on this podcast and checking it out. I'm really excited for this new chapter. So anyway, guys, basically for this first episode, I just kind of wanted to talk about what I envision for the podcast, talk about a little bit about myself, and kind of explain some of the topics I'm going to cover and different things like that. So I hope that you guys enjoy. I'm going to try to upload once a week, so hopefully next week will be my first ever official episode. So I think I'm going to do an episode about the coronavirus and about how Disney has handled it and things like that. So I hope that you guys will come back and check that out. And anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about my plan for the podcast. So basically, I'm starting off a little bit small, as you have heard. I'm just starting with some basic equipment and things like that. But one day I would love to have a studio to record in and to be able to have some super cool guests, like maybe some actors or maybe some Disney influencers or YouTubers or Instagrammers. I think that would be super fun. Some of my friends still work at the parks, so maybe we can get them to talk about some different things. And I just kind of want this podcast to be more of an escape, more of an entertainment platform than just like a news source or something similar. I've been doing quite a bit of research as to different YouTube videos and different Disney podcasts and just trying to figure out the right balance that I wanted to have. I definitely want to cover news topics, but I don't think I want my whole podcast to be about the news. So I think it would be really fun to do some different Disney games, some different Disney challenges, but also to cover some important topics let me see, what's a good controversial one? Like the pros and cons of the Disney College program. Maybe talking about the difference between Disney style and Disney cosplay and things like that. And I'm just really excited, honestly. I have such a big list of topic ideas that I would love to cover on this podcast, and I'm just really excited to share them with you guys. And with that, I would like to say that I would really appreciate if you would follow me at the Mouse Club podcast on Instagram. The reason being because I'm going to be posting a lot of polls, asking you guys to email me your stories. I'd love to do some episodes about most embarrassing moments at Disney, or my favorite Halloween memories at Disney, or the best Halloween costumes, things like that you guys can participate in, and I can share your stories and share your ideas. So please go check that out. I'm going to be posting on my stories when I do need people to participate and do need new topics, and I'll be posting some fun pictures over there as well. So I'm definitely very excited for this. I've been dreaming of this for such a long time. I have my own YouTube channel, and I do work as a bartender right now, but my dream has always been to do something related to Disney because it is my biggest passion. And even when I talk to my friends, they're like, oh, and my family too, actually, they're always like, oh, well, I can't believe you're not working at Disney. I really expected you to be working at Disney and all of this stuff. So I really am excited to get back into something that I'm really passionate about and something that I thoroughly enjoy and topics that I really enjoy talking about. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. This is so exciting for me, and I hope that you guys love it so much. And please leave me any feedback that you'd like to hear, because I would definitely love to hear it for sure. And anyway, just a little bit about me. So like I said, my name is Marissa, and I would say that I have been a Disney fan since I was born. When I was growing up, I was definitely super different because I love Disney, and I feel like I did get picked on a little bit for it throughout my life. So, I was always wearing skirts, and I was always reading, and it was just so different, and I was always loving to watch Disney movies, and especially when I became a teenager, people were like, Disney's for kids, and Disney Channel's for kids, and things like that, but I just loved it so much, so I didn't really care what people had to say about it. And then all of a sudden in 2013, which was my senior year of high school, Frozen came out, and Frozen was so big. Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. I couldn't believe like how many people were obsessed with Frozen, and especially like the same people that bullied me when I was younger were all of a sudden now Disney fans, and it was like cool to be a Disney fan, and even now to this day it's still cool to be a Disney fan. But to be honest, I've seen like a lot of people that are Disney fans now who are just fans like from Frozen and on. So I feel like that's not really the point. But you know, everybody loves their own things, so that's totally cool. That I just find it really funny that like some things that I was made fun of for are now super cool, and I know like other Disney fans can probably relate to that. So yeah, so that was the Frozen craze. That was 2013, and I graduated high school in 2014, and I was actually accepted to UCF, the University of Central Florida in Orlando. And that's when I knew that I definitely wanted to get a job at Disney. That was like my main reason for applying to UCF at the first place, was because I really wanted to work for Disney. So I started auditioning in the summer leading up to my first semester in college, because I lived about 2 hours away from Orlando. So I would drive up for auditions, and then I would go back home afterwards. And the audition process was super, super fun to be a character performer. I would love to do a couple episodes about the audition process and things like that. I did make it to the final rounds to be friends with Princess Anna a few times, and I really, really enjoyed it, like getting my makeup done and going to costuming and things like that. So I really would love to talk about those topics on future episodes, talk about kind of what the process is like, how the experience is, and things like that. So I would love to talk about that if you guys are interested. And I didn't actually end up getting the part. I went to several auditions, and I always got super close but never made it all the way. So I ended up moving down to UCF in August of 2014, and that's when I got my first job at Disney, which was at the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor on Main Street. And I worked there for 3 years. I was a trainer as well, and I really enjoyed my time there. Definitely pros and cons, as with every job, which I will be happy to share in future episodes. And throughout the time that I was at Disney, I actually got a job at Universal as well. So at Universal, I worked at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, at what's the official title? Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. So I worked in attractions and food and beverage at the parks and did some moving around. I also did PAC, which is like parade audience control at Magic Kingdom, and some other things that I got to experience. They definitely use you as much as they can while you're a cast member and a team member. So I definitely have a lot of stories to share, and I'm excited for future episodes to talk about some of that stuff. And yeah, basically after I graduated college, I ended up getting married, and my husband's last name is actually Potts. So being a Disney fan my whole life, I was now Mrs. Potts, which is super coincidental but super cool. And I'm really happy that I got to have that last name. It's just such a cool touch on my marriage. So super, super cool. And my husband and I, we currently live in Atlanta. We moved here about 1.5 years ago. We're not sure if we're going to end up staying here. I'm honestly missing Orlando and Florida so much. I just miss my family, especially right now. I'm filming this, or not filming, but recording this during the coronavirus quarantine. So I definitely wish I was closer to my family right now. It's kind of sad to be like 10 hours away from everybody. So we're definitely trying to figure out what we're going to do. I think this podcast would do really well if I could come back to Orlando, so I could have a lot of special guests and things like that. So we shall see what's to come in the next year. And anyway, guys, yeah, that's basically it for this podcast. My favorite characters, I would say, probably like I'm definitely a big Disney princess fan, so Cinderella, Rapunzel, and Anna, those are my top 3 princesses. My favorite movies are probably Tangled, Beauty and the Beast, Goofy movie. I have so many favorites. And then for Pixar, I would say probably Ratatouille or WALL-E. There's just so many good ones out there. And that's pretty much it, I feel like. Just wanted to throw in a couple little things. And I feel like next week I will have my first official episode, which will kind of be having like a topic, having a little news segment, and things like that. So don't forget to follow me at the Mouse Club Podcast on Instagram. And thank you guys so much for listening. And thank you for joining the Mouse Club. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Mouse Club Podcast. To find us on Instagram, follow us at the Mouse Club Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Mouse Club Podcast, or on our website, themouseclubpodcast.com, to find all of our episodes, links to our social channels, and our YouTube channel, which will be coming soon. To follow our host, Marissa Potts, that's me, check me out on YouTube, Marissa Potts, on TikTok at marissa.potts, on Instagram at Little Miss Mariss, MRS Mariss. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week. Bye.